Yeah, the TV license, BBC are going to be investigated apparently because of their they showed some bias and for the pro Remain bias, and they're talking about decriminalising the not having a TV license. And I think, that's good. It may seem trivial, but it's 100, and I don't even know how much a license is. I've never ever had one, but £180, is it, or something like that for a year to watch television. And it may have had some purpose in its early days, a license. But the thing I see wrong with the license, if I keep on that for the moment, is when the license was new, you can imagine I've got all this technology. There's only the BBC that existed at the time, and they're saying we're going to broadcast telly to you, and if you want to watch it, then you pay a fee, and we can keep on making programs for you. And whether or not you like the BBC, we're human beings. We like the good stuff about the things we don't like. So even if you don't like the BBC and what they do, there's no doubt that they've always put on some good programs. They broke the mould with the first Indian showing of, I think it was I forget what it's called actually, the name of the show. It was a long time ago as a kid. I didn't get it at the time. I thought it was interesting because it was kind of strange, but I never got into it and never revisited it. And they make something for everyone basically on the BBC. Not all the time for everyone. I think they could have stepped up earlier with their programs for non-white English people. Many years ago. Even though I mentioned the Indian programs, and they've done some programs for like African, West Indian culture and so on, but they don't touch the Greek and the Chinese and the Spanish and so on. And people might say, well, why should they have to? They're the British company, they should cater for British, but they've got a worldwide dominance, and they claim to be this big corporation worldwide that covers all bases, but they still have their strong bias. So I think it's important that in the early days, getting a TV license seemed valid. But this far ahead, where we've got internet, people really don't need a license. They should have a choice, just like Sky or any of the other channels, and they should let them pay £10 a month or whatever it is, same as Netflix, or I think it's £10, is it? And then you can pay if you want the BBC, but you shouldn't have to pay if you don't want it. And people kind of fall for that double illogical term, and they say, well, if you stop paying, then we can't provide quality programs. And it's like, but I don't want to pay because I don't want it. I don't care if you're making quality programs. And for the people who are paying, then you're just going to become like any other channel, and maybe you have to advertise. It's nice that they didn't advertise. I've got to give it that. You could watch a movie on BBC, a whole hour and a half, 2 hour, 3 hour movie uninterrupted, and that was nice. You didn't want to see a family sitting around a table eating tomato ketchup or being told what insurance to get. And so people got so much choice now. As Christian said, makes sense nowadays. I've not watched TV for 12 years, so it's a programming license or a tax on screens. And it's just a corporation robbing people of money. Well, as you said, tax on screens, and it's ridiculous. I've seen many arguments for not having a license. I just didn't want one because I didn't want one, and I used to say, I sent a letter off anyway. That was in the days when I had the website up. I was showing people how to not pay their parking fines and train fares and all that, basic stuff before I got quite advanced. And, I just sent a letter to them, just said, I don't have a telly. And that was it. They'd send you a letter back, and they'd just say, okay, and they said they'll come and check again. I think it was 2 or 5 years. I can't remember. Don't quote me on it. It's probably 2, knowing them. But they even sent someone to my house with a policeman once, and I just told them to fuck off, to their face. It was just like, fuck off. And you've got the right to do that. You're in your home. As long as you don't step out into the street and start arguing with them, where the policeman may have some rights. If you're inside your house and someone's at your door pestering you, say, I don't want to talk to you. You say, oh, yeah, but I'm from the... You say, I don't want to talk to you. If you say, just say, fuck off, twats, tell them to fuck off. And that's it. The policeman's not there to arrest you. The policeman's not there to support them. They do, because it's a state-sponsored corporation, and or state-backed corporation. Therefore, the police support them. It's all part of the great empire for them, and what they're being paid to protect. But he's not there really to be on that guy's side. He's there in case there's any problems. But they give it their parents deliberately of being there to collect your fee money. But yeah, if anyone asks you for television license money, never ever pay it. I think it would be fair if you are someone who watches the BBC, regardless if they're biased, if you keep watching their programmes, buy the license. It's that simple. I watch BBC sometimes. I did. But but not enough to buy a license. And I think one of the arguments, if someone's beaming these beams into your home and you've got a device that's capable of capturing them, then that's down to you. They won't divert the beams. You've got a device. Carry on watching. OBG.